Do you want to successfully complete the CompTIA A plus Core 2 exam? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to MyITCerts.com, where thousands of students have found their path to exam success. Our website provides completely free access to over 300 practice questions with detailed explanations and comprehensive study guides covering every exam objective. Everything you need for success on your first attempt for free. In this video, we will cover questions from operating systems, security, software, troubleshooting, operational procedures, and memory management. So, let's get started. 1. A software developer needs to set up a testing environment with virtual machines on their primary workstation. Which feature should they verify is available in their Windows edition before proceeding? A. Windows. Hello. B. Microsoft Edge. C. Client Hyper-V. D. Cortana Assistant. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C. Client Hyper-V. Explanation. Option C is correct, because Client Hyper-V is the built-in virtualization platform in Windows that allows creation and management of virtual machines. It's only available in Windows 10 Pro and higher editions, not in Home. Option A. Windows Hello is incorrect because Windows Hello biometric login is available in all Windows 10 editions and isn't related to virtualization. Option B. Microsoft Edge is incorrect because Microsoft Edge browser is available in all Windows 10 editions and has nothing to do with virtual machine creation. Option D. Cortana Assistant is incorrect because Cortana Assistant is available in all Windows 10 editions and isn't related to creating virtual machines. Two. A financial consultant works with sensitive client data on a laptop that frequently travels between client sites. Which Windows feature should they implement to best protect this data if the laptop is lost or stolen? A. Windows Defender. B. BitLocker. C. Windows. Hello. D. Assigned access. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. BitLocker. Explanation. Option B is correct because BitLocker provides full drive encryption, ensuring that data remains protected even if a device is physically stolen. This is exactly what's needed for a traveling laptop with sensitive financial data. Option A, Windows Defender, is incorrect because Windows Defender is primarily for malware protection and doesn't secure data if someone gains physical access to the device. Option C, Windows Hello, is incorrect because Windows Hello provides biometric login, but doesn't protect the actual data if someone bypasses the login or removes the drive. Option D, Assigned Access, is incorrect because Assigned Access, kiosk mode, limits a user to a single app and doesn't provide data protection if the device is stolen. 3. A system administrator needs to remotely manage a Linux web server to perform maintenance tasks using command line tools. Which remote access method is most appropriate for this scenario? A. Remote Desktop Protocol, RDP. B. Virtual Network Computing, VNC. C. Secure Shell, SSH. D. Microsoft Remote Assistance. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C. Secure Shell, SSH. Explanation. Option C is correct because SSH is specifically designed for secure command line access to remote systems, making it ideal for Linux server administration where most tasks are performed through the terminal. Option A, Remote Desktop Protocol, RDP, is incorrect because Remote Desktop Protocol is primarily for Windows systems and not commonly used for Linux server administration. Option B, Virtual Network Computing, VNC, is incorrect because while VNC can work with Linux, it provides graphical interface access, which is unnecessary and inefficient for command-line server administration tasks. Option D, Microsoft Remote Assistance, is incorrect because it's a Windows-specific technology not designed for Linux systems or server administration. 4. A network technician is troubleshooting a connectivity issue where a user can access their local network but not internet websites. The technician wants to determine where in the network path the connection is failing. Which command would be most useful for this purpose? A. ipconfig/flushdns. B. netuse. C. trace@google.com. D. netstat. A. Can you guess the answer? Correct. Answer C. trace@google.com. Explanation. Option C is correct because trace@google.com traces the route packets take to reach google.com, showing each hop along the way. This lets the technician see exactly where in the network path the connection is failing. Option A, ipconfig/flushdns, is incorrect because ipconfig/flushdns clears the DNS cache, which might help if there's a DNS resolution problem, but doesn't show where in the network path connectivity is failing. Option B, netuse, is incorrect because netuse displays or manages network connections to shared resources, which isn't relevant for diagnosing internet connectivity issues. Option D, netstat, A, is incorrect because netstat, étoile, shows all active connections and listening ports on the local machine, but doesn't trace the path through the network to identify where connectivity fails. 5. A company laptop needs to automatically run a backup script every Friday at 7 p.m., even if no user is logged in. Which Windows tool should be used to configure this requirement? A. Task Manager. B. Task Scheduler. C. Group Policy Editor. D. System Configuration. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer B. Task Scheduler. Explanation. Option B is correct because Task Scheduler, tasks.thd.msc, is specifically designed to create automated tasks that run at scheduled times. It can run scripts or programs at specified times, like Friday at 7 p.m., and can be configured to run even when no user is logged in. Option A, Task Manager, is incorrect because Task Manager monitors running processes and resources, but cannot schedule automated tasks. Option C, Group Policy Editor, is incorrect because while Group Policy Editor, gppt.msc, can enforce policies, it isn't directly used for scheduling specific tasks to run at certain times. Option D, System Configuration, is incorrect because System Configuration, misconfig.exe, manages startup settings and services, but doesn't provide functionality to schedule specific tasks at specific times. 6. After installing a new printer, a user discovers it doesn't work properly. The printer installation software seemed to complete successfully, but the device isn't functioning. Which Windows tool should you check first to identify driver-related issues? A. Print Management. B. Certificate Manager. C. Device Manager. D. System Configuration. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer C. Device Manager. Explanation. Option C is correct because Device Manager, dvmgmt.msc, is the primary tool for managing hardware devices and drivers. It would show if the printer has driver problems, indicated by a yellow exclamation mark, and provides options to update, rollback, or reinstall drivers. Option A, Print Management, is incorrect because while print management can help manage printers, it's not the best first tool for driver-related issues and is primarily used for managing print servers. Option B, Certificate Manager, is incorrect because Certificate Manager, certmgr.msc, is for managing security certificates and has nothing to do with printer drivers or hardware issues. Option D, System Configuration, is incorrect because System Configuration, msconfig.exe, is for managing startup programs and services, not for troubleshooting device driver issues. 7. A company laptop user complains that their battery drains too quickly when they're away from their desk. Which control panel utility should you use to address this issue? A. Device Manager. B. Power Options. C. System. D. Performance Options. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Power Options. Explanation. Option B is correct because Power Options is specifically designed to manage how a computer uses and conserves power. You can select a more efficient power plan, like Balanced, or Power Saver, adjust display brightness, or customize settings, like when the display turns off, or when the computer goes to sleep. Option A is incorrect, because Device Manager is for managing hardware devices and drivers, not specifically for power management. Option C is incorrect because System provides general system information and access to some system settings, but doesn't include detailed power management options. Option D is incorrect because Performance Options, accessed through System, focuses on visual effects and virtual memory settings, not battery conservation. 8. A user with vision impairment needs to make text on their screen larger and increase the contrast. Which control panel utility would be most appropriate to help this user? A. Display. B. Personalization. C. Ease of access. D. Appearance and themes. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C. Ease of access. Explanation. Option C is correct because Ease of Access contains accessibility features specifically designed for users with disabilities or special needs, including vision impairments. It provides options for high contrast themes, magnifier, text size adjustments, and other visibility enhancements. Option A, Display, is incorrect because while display settings can adjust some text size and resolution, it doesn't provide the comprehensive accessibility features available in Ease of Access. Option B, Personalization, is incorrect because personalization primarily handles visual customization, like wallpapers and themes, but lacks the specialized accessibility tools. Option D, Appearance and Themes, is incorrect because Appearance and Themes is not a specific control panel utility in Windows 10, though similar settings exist within personalization. 9. A user with a new 4K monitor complains that text and icons appear too small to read comfortably. Which Windows settings section would contain the solution to this problem? A. Colors in personalization. B. Display adapters in devices. C. Display in system. D. Vision in Ease of Access. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. Display and system. Explanation. Option C is correct because display and system contains settings for display resolution and scaling. On a high-resolution monitor, increasing the scaling percentage, for example to 150%, makes text and icons larger without reducing the resolution. Option A, colors in personalization, is incorrect because colors in personalization changes color themes but doesn't affect text or icon size. Option B, display adapters in devices, is incorrect because there is no display adapters section under devices in Windows settings. Display adapters are managed in Device Manager. Option D, vision in ease of access, is incorrect because while ease of access does have vision settings, the primary setting for adjusting display scaling for all users is in Display and System. 10. A laptop user wants to improve battery life by preventing applications from running in the background when not in use. Which Windows settings section would address this concern? A. Power and sleep in system. B. Startup in apps. C. Background apps in privacy. D. Battery in system. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. Background apps in privacy. Explanation. Option C is correct because background apps in privacy specifically controls which apps can run in the background and use system resources when you're not actively using them, directly addressing the battery life concern. Option A, power and sleep in system, is incorrect because power and sleep mainly controls screen and sleep timeouts, not which apps run in the background. Option B, startup in apps, is incorrect because startup in apps controls which apps launch when Windows starts, not which apps run in the background during normal operation. Option D, battery in system, is incorrect because there isn't a dedicated battery section under System in Windows settings, though some laptops may have manufacturer-specific battery tools. 11. A user needs to connect their Windows 10 laptop to the company's secure network while working from home. Which network feature should they configure? A. Metered connection. B. Virtual private network, VPN. C. Public network profile. D. Dynamic DNS. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, D. Virtual private network, VPN. Explanation. Option B is correct because a virtual private network, VPN, creates a secure, encrypted tunnel between the remote computer and the company network, allowing safe access to internal resources over the public internet. Option A, metered connection, is incorrect because a metered connection simply limits data usage and doesn't provide secure access to company resources. Option C, public network profile, is incorrect because setting a public network profile increases security restrictions locally, but doesn't provide access to remote company resources. Option D, dynamic DNS, is incorrect because dynamic DNS helps maintain DNS records for changing IP addresses, but doesn't create a secure connection to company resources. 12. A technician is configuring a new Windows 10 computer in an office environment. The computer can connect to other devices on the local network, but cannot access the internet. The technician verifies that other computers on the network can access the internet without issues. Which configuration should the technician check first? A. Windows firewall settings. B. Default gateway configuration. C. DNS server settings. D. Network adapter driver. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. DNS server settings. Explanation. Option C is correct because DNS server settings translate domain names to IP addresses. If a computer can connect to the local network but not access websites by name, incorrect DNS settings are the most likely cause. The ability to reach other local devices indicates the network adapter and basic IP configuration are working. Option A, Windows firewall settings, is incorrect because while firewall settings could block internet access, they would typically block specific applications rather than all internet access, while still allowing local network access. Option B, default gateway configuration, is incorrect because if the default gateway were misconfigured, the computer wouldn't be able to communicate with devices beyond the local network at all, but the scenario states it can reach other devices on the local network. Option D, network adapter driver, is incorrect because a faulty network adapter driver would typically cause problems with all network connectivity, not just internet access. 13. A company is deploying a new database application to the accounting department. The software's requirements state it needs Windows 10 Pro, 8 GB RAM, and 20 GB free disk space. During installation on a compatible computer, the installer fails with an error message about insufficient system resources. What is the most likely cause of this issue? A. The computer is running Windows 10 Home instead of Pro. B. Other applications are running, using up available RAM. C. The antivirus software is blocking the installation. D. The installer file is corrupted. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. B. Other applications are running, using up available RAM. Explanation. Option B is correct because if other applications are running during the installation, they consume a RAM that the installer needs. The error message about insufficient system resources typically indicates a lack of available memory, even when the total installed RAM meets requirements. Option A, the computer is running Windows 10 Home instead of Pro, is incorrect because if the wrong Windows edition was installed, the error message would likely specifically mention Windows Edition incompatibility rather than insufficient system resources. Option C, the antivirus software is blocking the installation, is incorrect because antivirus blocking would typically produce a security or access denial error, not a resource insufficiency error. Option D, the installer file is corrupted, is incorrect because a corrupted installer would typically fail to launch or would show file corruption errors rather than resource insufficiency errors. 14. A small engineering firm needs to install specialized CAD software that has the following requirements: Windows 10, Professional or Enterprise, 64-bit processor, 16 GB RAM, 50 GB free disk space, and OpenGL-compatible graphics card. Which of the following would prevent a successful installation on a computer that meets most specifications? A. The computer has Windows 10 Home 64-bit edition installed. B. The computer has a DirectX 12 compatible graphics card. C. The computer has a 1 TB hard drive with 200 GB free. D. The computer has an Intel Core i7 processor. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. A. The computer has Windows 10 Home 64-bit edition installed. Explanation. Option A is correct because the CAD software specifically requires Windows 10 Professional or Enterprise, but the computer has Windows 10 Home Edition installed. This edition mismatch would prevent successful installation, since Home Edition lacks certain features the software may require. Option B, the computer has a DirectX 12 compatible graphics card, is incorrect, because a DirectX 12 compatible graphics card would likely also support OpenGL, as most modern graphics cards support both APIs. Option C, the computer has a 1 TB hard drive with 200 GB free, is incorrect, because 200 GB free space exceeds the 50 GB requirement, so disk space is not an issue. Option D, the computer has an Intel Core i7 processor, is incorrect because an Intel Core i7 processor is a 64-bit processor that would meet or exceed the processor requirements for most CAD applications. A company is deploying new computers in an environment where security, compliance, and centralized management are critical requirements. Which operating system would be most appropriate? A. Windows 10 Home, B. Windows 10 Pro, C. Chrome OS, D. Android. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. Windows 10 Pro. Explanation. Option B is correct because Windows 10 Pro includes business features necessary for security, compliance, and centralized management, such as BitLocker encryption, group policy support, and the ability to join a domain. Option A, Windows 10 Home, is incorrect because Windows 10 Home lacks many business features needed for centralized management and compliance, such as domain, join capability, and group policy support. Option C, Chrome OS, is incorrect because while Chrome OS is secure, it has limited centralized management capabilities compared to Windows in a traditional business environment and may not support necessary business applications. Option D, Android, is incorrect because Android is a mobile operating system not designed for desktop, laptop computers in business environments. A school district is purchasing new computers for student use that must be affordable, easy to manage, secure, and primarily used for web-based educational applications. Which operating system best meets these requirements? A. Windows 10 Pro, B. Mac OS, C. Chrome OS, D. Linux Ubuntu. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. Chrome OS. Explanation. Option C is correct because Chrome OS is designed specifically for web applications, offers excellent security through automatic updates, is easy to manage through the Google Admin Console, and typically runs on affordable Chromebook hardware, making it ideal for educational environments. Option A, Windows 10 Pro, is incorrect because Windows 10 Pro devices are typically more expensive and require more maintenance than Chromebooks for basic web-based educational use. Option B, macOS, is incorrect because macOS only runs on Apple hardware, which is generally more expensive than Chromebooks, making it less suitable for budget-conscious school deployments. Option D, Linux Ubuntu, is incorrect because while Linux Ubuntu is free and can run on affordable hardware, it requires more technical expertise to manage and may present a steeper learning curve for students and teachers than Chrome OS. After a severe malware infection that antivirus software cannot fully remove, a technician decides to reinstall Windows. Which installation type would be most appropriate in this situation? A. Repair installation, B. Upgrade installation, C. Recovery partition restoration, D. Clean installation. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, D. Clean installation. Explanation. Option D is correct because a clean installation completely erases the drive and installs a fresh copy of the operating system, which is the most effective way to ensure all malware is removed from the system. This provides a completely fresh start with no remnants of the infection. Option A, repair installation, is incorrect because a repair installation preserves user files and settings, which might also preserve some malware components. Option B, upgrade installation, is incorrect because an upgrade installation maintains existing files and applications, potentially allowing malware to persist after the installation. Option C, recovery partition restoration, is incorrect because recovery partition restoration returns the system to its factory state, but may not be accessible if the malware has damaged the recovery partition, and some sophisticated malware can survive this process. 18. A laptop won't boot from USB or optical media due to BIOS limitations. Which alternative installation method would be most appropriate? A. Network installation. PXE boot. B. Internet-based installation. C. External/hot swappable drive installation. D. Use a different computer to install Windows on the laptop's hard drive. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. D. Use a different computer to install Windows on the laptop's hard drive. Explanation. Option D is correct because when a computer cannot boot from USB or optical media, removing the hard drive and connecting it to a working computer to install Windows is a viable alternative. After installation, the drive can be returned to the original computer. Option A, network installation, PXE boot, is incorrect because network installation, PXE boot, still requires the laptop to support booting from the network, which may not be possible if the BIOS has significant limitations. Option B, Internet-based installation, is incorrect because Internet-based installation typically requires booting into a minimal environment first, which would still require some form of boot capability that the laptop apparently lacks. Option C, external/hot swappable drive installation, is incorrect because external/hot swappable drive installation would still require the laptop to boot from an external device, which isn't possible according to the scenario. 19. A technician needs to run Unix commands on a Mac. Which utility should they use? A. Mission Control. B. Terminal. C. Console. D. Keychain. Access. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. Terminal. Explanation. Option B is correct because Terminal provides command line interface access to the Unix-based foundation of macOS. It allows users to execute powerful text commands, automate tasks with scripts, and access advanced system functions using Unix-Linux commands. Option A, Mission Control, is incorrect because Mission Control is a feature for managing open windows and virtual desktops, not for running commands. Option C, Console, is incorrect because Console is used for viewing system logs and debugging information, not for running commands. Option D, Keychain Access, is incorrect because Keychain Access manages passwords, certificates, and secure notes, not for running commands. What is the primary purpose of File Vault in macOS? A. To create encrypted disk images. B. To encrypt specific folders. C. To provide full disk encryption. D. To securely delete files. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C. To provide full disk encryption. Explanation. Option C is correct because File Vault provides full disk encryption for macOS. encrypting the entire startup disk to protect all data if the Mac is lost or stolen. It uses XTS AES 128 encryption and automatically unlocks when an authorized user logs in. Option A, to create encrypted disk images, is incorrect because while Disk Utility can create encrypted disk images, this is not FileVault's function. Option B, to encrypt specific folders, is incorrect because FileVault encrypts the entire startup disk, not just specific folders. Option D, to securely delete files, is incorrect because secure file deletion is a separate function available in Finder or through terminal commands, not the primary purpose of FileVault. 21. A system administrator needs to install software updates on an Ubuntu Linux system. Which sequence of commands should they use? A. Yum. Check update followed by yum update. B. apt-get. Install followed by apt-get. Update. C. apt-get update followed by apt-get upgrade. D. RPM uv followed by the package name. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer. C. apt-get update followed by apt-get upgrade. Explanation. Option C is correct because in Ubuntu, a Debian-based distribution, apt-get update refreshes the package list from the repositories, and apt-get upgrade then installs the available updates for installed packages. This is the correct sequence for updating an Ubuntu system. Option A, yum check update followed by yum update, is incorrect because yum is the package manager for Red Hat-based distributions, like CentOS and Fedora, not for Ubuntu. Option B, apt-get install followed by apt-get update, is incorrect because this sequence is backwards. You need to update the package lists before installing software, and apt-get install requires specifying which package to install. Option D, RPM uv followed by package name, is incorrect because RPM is a lower-level package management command used in Red Hat-based systems, not Ubuntu, and this usage would only update a specific package, not the entire system. 22. A company is concerned about the security of their remote access implementation after a recent security audit. Which of the following represents the most significant security risk in a remote access environment? A. Using default ports for remote access services. B. Allowing direct internet access to remote desktop services. C. Implementing screen timeouts on remote sessions. D. Using role-based access control for remote users. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. B. Allowing direct internet access to remote desktop services. Explanation. Option B is correct because exposing RDP directly to the internet creates a significant security risk, as it becomes vulnerable to brute force attacks, exploits, and unauthorized access attempts from anywhere in the world. Option A, using default ports for remote access services, is incorrect because using default ports is a security concern, but represents a lower risk than direct internet exposure and can be mitigated with other security measures. Option C, implementing screen timeouts on remote sessions, is incorrect because this is actually a good security practice, not a risk. Option D, using role-based access control for remote users, is incorrect because this is a security best practice that enhances remote access security, not a risk. 23. A company wants to implement a physical security measure that prevents vehicles from entering sensitive areas around their data center building. Which security control should they implement? A. Motion sensors. B. Security guards. C. Bollards. D. Magnetometers. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. Bollards. Explanation. Option C is correct because bollards are sturdy posts specifically designed to prevent vehicles from entering protected areas. They create a physical barrier that can stop vehicle-based threats while still allowing pedestrian access. Option A, motion sensors, is incorrect because motion sensors detect movement but don't physically prevent vehicle access. Option B, security guards, is incorrect because while security guards can control access, they cannot physically stop a fast-moving vehicle. Option D, magnetometers, is incorrect because magnetometers, metal detectors, are used to detect metal objects on people, not to prevent vehicle access. 24. An organization wants to implement a security measure that allows employees to access their personal work files from any computer in the domain. Which Active Directory feature should they configure? A. Security groups. B. Group policy. C. Home folders. D. Login scripts. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. C. Home folders. Explanation. Option C is correct because home folders are network directories assigned to individual users that provide personal storage space, which follows them regardless of which computer they use in the domain. Home folders are typically mapped to a drive letter, like H, when users log in. Option A, security groups, is incorrect because security groups are used to manage permissions for collections of users, not to provide personal file storage. Option B, group policy, is incorrect because group policy controls settings and configurations, not personal file storage. Option D, login scripts, is incorrect because login scripts automate tasks when users log in but they don't specifically provide personal file storage. 25. A network administrator needs to implement an authentication system that provides detailed control and logging of which commands administrators can execute on network devices. Which authentication protocol would best meet these requirements? A. Radius. B. TIACAX. Plus. C. Kerberos. D. WPA2 Personal. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. B. TIACAX Plus. Explanation. Option B is correct because TIACAX Plus is specifically designed to provide detailed command-level authorization and accounting for network device administration. It separates authentication, authorization, and accounting functions while encrypting the entire authentication process, making it ideal for controlling administrative access. Option A, Radius, is incorrect because while Radius provides authentication and authorization, it doesn't offer the granular command-level control that TIACAX Plus does. Radius is better suited for network access control than device administration. Option C, Kerberos, is incorrect because although Kerberos provides strong authentication, it doesn't focus on the command-level authorization and accounting needed for network device administration. Option D, WPA2 Personal, is incorrect because WPA2 Personal is a wireless security protocol, not an authentication server protocol for administrative access control. 26. A company needs to support a critical legacy device that cannot connect to networks using AES encryption. Which configuration represents the most secure approach that will still allow this device to connect? A. Create a separate network using WPA with TKIP for legacy devices only. B. Configure the main network to use WEP for maximum compatibility. C. Use WPA3 with TKIP encryption on the main network. D. disable all wireless security to ensure the device can connect. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. A. Create a separate network using WPA with TKIP for legacy devices only. Explanation. Option A is correct because creating a separate network for legacy devices using the highest security they support, WPA with TKIP, prevents downgrading security for modern devices while still accommodating legacy hardware. This separate network can also be isolated from critical systems through VLANs and firewall rules. Option B, configure the main network to use WEP for maximum compatibility, is incorrect because downgrading the entire network to WEP would create significant security vulnerabilities for all devices. Option C, use WPA3 with TKIP encryption on the main network, is incorrect because WPA3 doesn't support TKIP encryption. This combination doesn't exist in practice. Option D, disable all wireless security to ensure the device can connect, is incorrect because disabling all wireless security would leave the network completely vulnerable to unauthorized access and eavesdropping. 27. After confirming a malware infection, but before running removal tools, which of the following steps should a technician take to prevent potential reinfection from Windows restore points? A. Create a new restore point. B. Disable system. Restore. C. Run system file checker. D. Enable system restore protection. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. B. Disable system restore. Explanation. Option B is correct because disabling system restore before running malware removal tools prevents malware from hiding in restore points and potentially reinfecting the system later. This is a specific step in CompTIA's recommended malware removal process. Option A, create a new restore point, is incorrect because creating a new restore point while the system is infected would save a restore point containing malware, which could lead to reinfection later. Option C, run system file checker, is incorrect because while system file checker, SFC can repair corrupted Windows files, it doesn't address malware potentially stored in system restore points. Option D, enable system restore protection, is incorrect because enabling system restore protection should be done after malware removal is complete, not before. (28) A computer is running extremely slowly, and the CPU usage is at 100%, even when no visible applications are running. The computer fans are constantly running at high speed, and the system is unusually hot. Which type of malware is most likely causing these symptoms? A. Keylogger. B. Boot sector virus. C. Cryptominer. D. Spyware. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C. Cryptominer. Explanation. Option C is correct because cryptomining malware uses a computer's processing resources to mine cryptocurrency without the user's knowledge. This typically results in high CPU usage, increased heat generation, and constant fan activity, even when no visible applications are running. Option A, keylogger, is incorrect because keyloggers record keystrokes, but typically don't consume significant system resources that would cause high CPU usage and system heat. Option B, boot sector virus, is incorrect because boot sector viruses infect the master boot record and typically cause boot problems rather than high resource usage during operation. Option D, spyware, is incorrect because while spyware can slow a system, it typically doesn't cause the extreme CPU usage and heating described in the scenario, as its primary purpose is information gathering rather than computational tasks. 29. A company website suddenly becomes extremely slow and then completely unavailable. Server logs show an enormous amount of traffic coming from thousands of different IP addresses worldwide. What type of attack is occurring? A. SQL injection. B. Denial of service. C. Distributed denial of service. D. Cross-site scripting. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. Distributed denial of service. Explanation. Option C is correct because a distributed denial of service, DDoS, attack involves overwhelming a system with a traffic from many different sources simultaneously. The key indicators in this scenario are the website becoming unavailable and traffic coming from thousands of different IP addresses. Option A, SQL injection, is incorrect because SQL injection involves inserting malicious code into database queries, not flooding a site with traffic. Option B, denial of service, is incorrect because a regular DOS attack comes from a single source, while this scenario specifically mentions thousands of different IP addresses. Option D, cross-site scripting, is incorrect because cross-site scripting involves injecting malicious scripts into websites that are executed by users' browsers, not overwhelming servers with traffic. 30. The CEO of a company receives an email appearing to be from the company's CFO, mentioning specific details about a current acquisition and requesting an urgent wire transfer to complete the deal. What type of social engineering attack is this? A. Phishing. B. Spoofing. C. Whaling. D. Evil twin. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C. Whaling. Explanation. Option C is correct because whaling is a type of phishing, specifically targeting high-value individuals like executives. This scenario shows classic whaling characteristics, targeting a high-profile individual, CEO, highly personalized content, specific acquisition details, and impersonating another executive, CFO, to request financial transactions. Option A, phishing, is incorrect, because while whaling is a type of phishing, the generic term doesn't capture the specific targeting of executives that makes this whaling. Option B, spoofing, is incorrect because while email spoofing may be part of the attack method, it doesn't describe the overall social engineering technique being used. Option D, evil twin, is incorrect, because an evil twin attack involves creating a fake Wi-Fi access point, which isn't part of this scenario. Struggling with your IT certification exams? We've all been there. Welcome to MyITCerts.com, your ultimate resource for IT exam success. Find over 15,000 plus questions and answers. Join our thriving community of over 10,000 plus active students and the impressive 100% success rate with our premium exam support. Visit MyITCerts.com today and take first step towards guaranteed success. 31. A technician needs to secure sensitive financial spreadsheets on a Windows computer, but full disk encryption isn't required for the entire system. Which encryption solution should be used? A. BitLocker to go. B. NTFS compression. C. Encrypting file system, EFS. D. Windows. Firewall. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. Encrypting file system, EFS. Explanation. Option C is correct because the encrypting file system, EFS, is designed to encrypt individual files and folders rather than entire drives. It's perfect for situations where only specific sensitive files need encryption while leaving the rest of the system unencrypted. Option A, BitLocker to go is incorrect because BitLocker to go is specifically for encrypting removable drives, not individual files on the main system. Option B, NTFS compression, is incorrect because NTFS compression only compresses files to save space. It doesn't encrypt or secure them in any way. Option D, Windows Firewall, is incorrect because Windows Firewall protects against network threats and has nothing to do with file encryption. 32. Which of the following password settings helps prevent an attacker from using brute force techniques to gain unauthorized access to an account? A. Password complexity requirements. B. Account lockout policy. C. Password history enforcement. D. Minimum password age. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer. B. Account lockout policy. Explanation. Option B is correct because an account lockout policy automatically locks an account after a specified number of incorrect password attempts, directly preventing brute force attacks, where attackers try many password combinations. Option A, password complexity requirements, is incorrect because while complexity requirements make passwords harder to guess, they don't directly stop an attacker from making repeated login attempts. Option C, password history enforcement, is incorrect because password history enforcement prevents users from reusing previous passwords but doesn't stop brute force attempts. Option D, minimum password age, is incorrect because minimum password age only prevents users from changing their passwords too frequently and doesn't address brute force attacks. (33) A healthcare office needs to ensure patient information on computer screens isn't visible to unauthorized individuals. Which two security measures should be implemented? A. BitLocker encryption and password complexity requirements. B. Privacy screens and automatic screen locks. C. Disabled guest account and renamed administrator account. D. Disable auto run and autoplay. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. B. Privacy screens and automatic screen locks. Explanation. Option B is correct because privacy screens physically prevent visual snooping by limiting the viewing angle of the display, while automatic screen locks ensure that unattended computers are secured after a period of inactivity, preventing unauthorized viewing of information on screen. Option A, BitLocker encryption and password complexity requirements, is incorrect because it addresses data storage security, but not visual privacy of on-screen information. Option C, disabled guest account and renamed administrator account, is incorrect because improves account security, but doesn't address the visual privacy concerns. Option D, disable auto run and autoplay, is incorrect because helps prevent malware from removable media, but doesn't protect on-screen information from visual observation. 34. A company wants to prevent brute force password attacks on workstations. Which security measure should be implemented? A. Password complexity requirements. B. Account lockout policy. C. Disabled guest account. D. Renamed administrator account. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. B. Account lockout policy. Explanation. Option B is correct because an account lockout policy automatically locks accounts after a specified number of incorrect password attempts, directly preventing brute force attacks, where attackers try many password combinations in succession. Option A, password complexity requirements, is incorrect because makes passwords harder to guess, but doesn't prevent multiple consecutive attempts. Option C, disabled guest account, is incorrect because improves security by removing an unnecessary account, but doesn't prevent brute force attacks against existing accounts. Option D, renamed administrator account, is incorrect because makes targeting the default administrator account more difficult, but doesn't prevent brute force attacks once the attacker identifies active accounts. 35. Which screen lock method on a mobile device provides the best balance between security and convenience for a typical business user? A. Swipe to unlock. B. Fingerprint recognition with PIN. Backup. C. Pattern. Lock with visible pattern. D. 4-digit PIN code. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer. B. Fingerprint recognition with PIN backup. Explanation. Option B is correct because fingerprint recognition offers strong security with the convenience of quick access, while the PIN backup provides a secondary authentication method when biometrics fail or after device restart. This combination provides both security and usability. Option A, swipe to unlock, is incorrect because swipe to unlock provides virtually no security and is inappropriate for any device with sensitive information. Option C, pattern lock with visible pattern, is incorrect because pattern locks with visible patterns are easily observed by others and can leave smudge patterns on the screen that reveal the pattern. Option D, 4-digit PIN code, is incorrect because a 4-digit PIN provides only 10,000 possible combinations, making it vulnerable to brute force attacks and less secure than biometric methods with PIN backup. (36) A network administrator wants to improve security for smart thermostats, security cameras, and other IoT devices in a small office. Which approach would provide the best security improvement? A. Change the default passwords on all devices. B. Place all IoT devices on a separate network, isolated from the main business network. C. Disable remote access to all IoT devices. D. Update firmware only when devices malfunction. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. B. Place all IoT devices on a separate network, isolated from the main business network. Explanation. Option B is correct because placing IoT devices on a separate network, VLAN or guest network, isolates them from the main business network, preventing compromised devices from accessing sensitive business data or systems. This network segmentation is a critical security practice for IoT deployments. Option A, change the default passwords on all devices, is incorrect because while changing default passwords is important, it alone doesn't protect against compromised devices accessing other systems on the network. Option C, disable remote access to all IoT devices, is incorrect because disabling remote access would severely limit the functionality of IoT devices that are designed to be remotely monitored and controlled. Option D, update firmware only when devices malfunction, is incorrect because firmware should be updated regularly, not just when devices malfunction, as updates often contain critical security patches. (37) An IT technician is tasked with disposing of several failed solid-state drives, SSDs, that contain company financial data. Which of the following methods would be most effective for ensuring the data cannot be recovered? A. Degaussing each drive. B. Performing a low-level format. C. Physical shredding. D. Running a secure erase command. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C. Physical shredding. Explanation. Option C is correct because physical shredding is highly effective for SSDs as it physically destroys the memory chips where data is stored, making recovery impossible. This is especially important for failed drives that cannot be wiped using software methods. Option A, degaussing each drive, is incorrect because degaussing only works on magnetic media, traditional HDDs, and is completely ineffective on solid-state drives, which use flash memory chips to store data. Option B, performing a low-level format, is incorrect because low-level formatting requires a functioning drive, and these drives have failed. Even if the drives worked, low-level formatting doesn't completely remove all data from modern drives. Option D, running a secure erase command, is incorrect because secure erase commands require a functioning drive to work properly, and the scenario specifically states these are failed drives. (38) A small business is closing and needs to dispose of a server containing customer credit card information and financial records. The business owner wants to handle this internally without hiring a service. Which combination of methods would provide the best security while being practical for in-house destruction? A. Quick formatting, followed by standard formatting. B. Multipass wiping, followed by physical drilling through the drives. C. Low-level formatting, and then selling the server whole. D. Degaussing, and then recycling the drives. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Multipass wiping followed by physical drilling through the drives. Explanation. Option B is correct because the combination of multipass wiping to remove accessible data, followed by physical drilling, to permanently damage the storage media, provides a high level of security that's practical for in-house handling. This approach addresses both the digital and physical aspects of data destruction for sensitive financial information. Option A, quick formatting followed by standard formatting, is incorrect because both quick and standard formatting only remove the file table and don't actually erase the data, leaving credit card information potentially recoverable with basic software. Option C, low-level formatting and then selling the server whole, is incorrect because low-level formatting alone doesn't guarantee complete data removal from modern drives, and selling the server whole risks exposing customer financial data if any information remains recoverable. Option D, degaussing and then recycling the drives, is incorrect because while degaussing works for magnetic media, it doesn't provide documentation of destruction, and if the server uses SSDs, degaussing would be completely ineffective. 39. After installing a new router, a technician needs to perform initial security configuration. Which of the following should be done first to secure the router? A. Update the router's firmware. B. Change the default SSID. C. Set up WPA3 encryption. D. Change the default administrator password. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. D. Change the default administrator password. Explanation. Option D is correct because changing the default administrator password is the most critical first step in router security. Default passwords are widely known and published online, and if left unchanged, anyone could access your router's administration panel and change all other security settings. Option A, update the router's firmware, is incorrect because it is important, but should be done after securing admin access. If you update firmware first while the default password is still active, the router remains vulnerable to unauthorized access during and after the update process. Option B, change the default SSID, is incorrect because it is a good practice for security, But changing the SSID doesn't prevent unauthorized access to router settings. An attacker with access to the administration panel can simply change the SSID back or modify other more critical security settings. Option C, set up WPA3 encryption, is incorrect because it's important for securing wireless connections, but if the administrator password remains at default, an attacker could simply log in and disable or change the WPA3 encryption settings. Securing administrative access must come first. 40. A small business wants to allow customers to access the internet while visiting their shop, but is concerned about network security. Which of the following configurations would best address their needs? A. Provide customers with the password to their main office network. B. Create a separate guest network with isolation from the main network. C. Implement MAC filtering to control which customers can connect. D. Disable SSID broadcast and only give the network name to trusted customers. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. B. Create a separate guest network with isolation from the main network. Explanation. Option B is correct because creating a separate guest network with isolation provides internet access for customers while keeping the business's main network and devices protected. Guest networks are specifically designed for this scenario, allowing visitors to connect while preventing them from accessing internal resources. Option A, provide customers with the password to their main office network, is incorrect because giving customers access to the main office network creates significant security risks. Customers would potentially have access to business files, printers, and other devices on the network, compromising the security of business data. Option C, implement MAC filtering to control which customers can connect, is incorrect because MAC filtering is cumbersome to manage for constantly changing customers. It requires collecting the MAC address of each customer device and manually adding it to an allowed list. This is impractical for a retail environment with many different visitors. Option D, disable SSID broadcast and only give the network name to trusted customers, is incorrect because disabling SSID broadcast is merely security through obscurity. It creates inconvenience for legitimate users without providing meaningful security, as hidden networks can still be detected with readily available tools. It would also require staff to constantly share network details with customers. (41) A technician needs to configure a browser on a public computer in a library. Which combination of settings would provide the best security for multiple users? A. Enable password saving and browser synchronization for convenience. B. Configure the browser to clear all browsing data so when closed and disable password saving. C. Install multiple extensions to enhance the browsing experience. D. Use a single shared profile with automatic sign-in. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. B. Configure the browser to clear all browsing data when closed and disable password saving. Explanation. Option B is correct because clearing browsing data when the browser is closed ensures that each user's history, cookies, and cached data aren't available to the next user. Disabling password saving prevents users from accidentally saving their credentials where others could access them. Option A, enable password. Saving and browser synchronization for convenience is incorrect because enabling password saving on a public computer would allow subsequent users to potentially access saved passwords of previous users. Browser synchronization would risk linking someone's personal account to the public computer. Option C, install multiple extensions to enhance the browsing experience, is incorrect because installing multiple extensions increases the attack surface and potential vulnerabilities. Each extension has access to browser data and could pose privacy risks for users of a public computer. Option D, use a single shared profile with automatic sign-in, is incorrect because a single shared profile means all users would have access to the same browsing history, saved passwords, and cookies from previous users, creating significant privacy and security concerns. 42. A user frequently accesses their email on a personal laptop connected to public Wi-Fi networks. Which browser security feature would best protect their login credentials from being intercepted? A. Private browsing mode. B. Verifying HTTPS connections before logging in. C. Clearing the browser cache weekly. D. Using an ad blocker extension. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. B. Verifying HTTPS connections before logging in. Explanation. Option B is correct because HTTPS connections encrypt data transmitted between the browser and the server, protecting it from interception on public Wi-Fi networks. Verifying that the connection shows a valid HTTPS certificate before entering credentials ensures this encryption is in place. Option A, private browsing mode, is incorrect because private browsing mode only prevents local storage of browsing history and cookies. It doesn't encrypt data transmitted over the network or protect against interception on public Wi-Fi. Option C, clearing the browser cache weekly, is incorrect because clearing the browser cache only removes locally stored copies of web content and doesn't protect data while it's being transmitted over the network. Option D, using an ad blocker extension, is incorrect because while ad blockers can improve security by blocking malicious ads, they don't specifically protect login credentials transmitted over a network connection. 43. A user reports that after a power outage, their computer displays operating system not found when powered on. The computer passes post successfully. Which of the following is the most appropriate first troubleshooting step? A. Reinstall Windows from installation media. B. Check and correct the boot order in BIOS/UEFI. C. Run startup repair from the Windows recovery environment. D. Replace the hard drive with a new one. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. B. Check and correct the boot order in BIOS/UEFI. Explanation. Option B is correct because operating system not found after a power outage often indicates that the boot order in BIOS/UEFI has changed. Power outages can reset BIOS settings to defaults, which might not prioritize the drive containing the OS. Since the computer passes post successfully, the hardware is functioning, making boot order the most logical first check. Option A, reinstall Windows from installation media, is incorrect because reinstalling Windows is an extreme solution that should only be attempted after verifying that the existing installation cannot be accessed. This would result in data loss and is unnecessary if the issue is simply a boot order problem. Option C, run startup repair from the Windows recovery environment, is incorrect because running startup repair requires being able to boot to the Windows recovery environment, which isn't possible if the system cannot find the operating system due to boot order issues. This would be an appropriate second step if correcting the boot order doesn't resolve the issue. Option D, replace the hard drive with a new one, is incorrect because replacing the hard drive is premature without evidence of drive failure. Since the issue occurred after a power outage and the computer passes post, it's more likely a configuration issue than a failed drive. 44. A computer running Windows is experiencing random shutdowns without any error messages. The shutdowns occur most frequently when running resource-intensive applications. What is the most likely cause of this issue? A. Windows Update installing updates automatically. B. Overheating components. C. Corrupted system files. D. Malware infection. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. B. Overheating components. Explanation. Option B is correct because random shutdowns that occur specifically during resource-intensive tasks strongly suggest overheating issues. When components, particularly the CPU or GPU, reach critical temperatures during high workloads, the system will shut down to prevent hardware damage. The lack of error messages is consistent with thermal shutdowns. Option A, Windows Update installing updates automatically, is incorrect because Windows Update typically displays notifications before restarting and wouldn't correlate specifically with resource-intensive applications. Update-related restarts follow a pattern, notifications schedule times, rather than occurring randomly during high workloads. Option C, corrupted system files, is incorrect because corrupted system files typically cause blue screens, application crashes, or specific error messages, rather than clean shutdowns without warnings. System file corruption wouldn't specifically correlate with resource-intensive applications. Option D, malware infection, is incorrect because while malware can cause system instability, it typically doesn't cause clean shutdowns specifically during resource-intensive tasks. Malware symptoms usually include persistent issues regardless of system load, along with other signs like unexpected network activity or performance issues. 45. A user reports receiving frequent pop-up warnings claiming their computer is infected with viruses and urging them to call a phone number for technical support. The alerts appear even when no browser is open. What is the most likely explanation? A. The antivirus software subscription has expired. B. The computer has a legitimate virus infection. C. The system is infected with scareware/fake security alerts. D. Windows. Defender is detecting legitimate threats. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. The system is infected with scareware/fake security alerts. Explanation. Option C is correct because pop-up warnings that appear outside of browsers, especially those urging users to call phone numbers, are classic signs of scareware or fake security alerts. These are designed to frighten users into contacting scammers who will attempt to sell unnecessary services or gain remote access to the computer. Option A, the antivirus software subscription has expired, is incorrect because an expired antivirus subscription would show notifications from the legitimate antivirus program, which would identify itself clearly and wouldn't instruct users to call phone numbers. Option B, the computer has a legitimate virus infection, is incorrect because while a virus infection is possible, the specific symptoms, alerts claiming infection and providing phone numbers, point more precisely to scareware, which is a specific type of malware designed to generate false alerts. Option D, Windows. Defender is detecting legitimate threats, is incorrect because Windows Defender displays notifications in a standard Windows format, clearly identifies itself, and never asks users to call phone numbers for technical support. (46) A technician discovers that a computer is infected with ransomware that has encrypted user files. Which of the following should be the first action taken? A. Pay the ransom to recover the files. B. Format the hard drive and reinstall Windows. C. Disconnect the computer from the network. D. Run a malware scan with the installed antivirus. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. Disconnect the computer from the network. Explanation. Option C is correct because the immediate priority with ransomware is to contain the infection by disconnecting from the network. This prevents the ransomware from spreading to other systems or network drives and stops any ongoing encryption or communication with command and control servers. Option A, pay the ransom to recover the files, is incorrect because paying the ransom should never be the first response. Many security experts advise against paying as it doesn't guarantee file recovery and funds criminal activities. Option B, format the hard drive and reinstall Windows, is incorrect because formatting the drive is premature without first attempting to identify the specific ransomware variant and exploring potential decryption options. This would also immediately destroy any chance of recovery without external backups. Option D, run a malware scan with the installed antivirus, is incorrect because running a standard malware scan, while eventually necessary, is not the first priority. Isolating the infected system should be done before any remediation attempts to prevent spread. 47. After removing malware from a computer, which of the following steps should be taken before enabling system restore? A. Reinstall the operating system. B. Schedule regular scans and updates. C. Educate the end user about safe computing practices. D. Return the computer to the network. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Schedule regular scans and updates. Explanation. Option B is correct because scheduling regular scans and updates is step 5 in the CompTIA malware removal process, which occurs immediately before re-enabling system restore. Step 6. This ensures ongoing protection before creating new restore points. Option A, reinstall the operating system, is incorrect because reinstalling the operating system is not a standard step in the malware removal process unless all other removal methods have failed. It would be considered an extreme measure within step 4, remediate, not a step that comes before enabling system restore. Option C, educate the end user about safe computing practices, is incorrect because educating the end user is step 7 in the process, which comes after re-enabling system restore. While important, it's not what should happen before enabling system restore. Option D, return the computer to the network, is incorrect because returning the computer to the network typically happens after the system is verified clean, updates are configured, and system restore is re-enabled. Reconnecting too early could risk incomplete malware removal. 48. A technician needs to remove a rootkit infection that standard antivirus scans in normal mode cannot detect. Which of the following scanning approaches would be most appropriate? A. Run the same antivirus scan but enable heuristic detection. B. Use a pre-installation environment from bootable media. C. Install a second antivirus and run both simultaneously. D. Perform a quick scan instead of a full scan. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. B. Use a pre-installation environment from bootable media. Explanation. Option B is correct because rootkits often hide deep in the system and can avoid detection when Windows is running. A pre-installation environment from bootable media, like a rescue disk, runs outside the installed OS, allowing the scanner to access and clean files that would be protected or hidden during normal Windows operation. Option A, run the same antivirus scan but enable heuristic detection, is incorrect because while heuristic detection might help with some malware, rootkits specifically hide from the operating system. If standard scans in normal mode failed, simply enabling heuristic detection likely won't overcome the rootkit's ability to conceal itself. Option C, install a second antivirus and run both simultaneously, is incorrect because running multiple antivirus programs simultaneously can cause conflicts and system instability. Additionally, if one antivirus couldn't detect the rootkit in normal mode, a second one running under the same conditions would likely face the same limitations. Option D, perform a quick scan instead of a full scan is incorrect because a quick scan is less thorough than a full scan. Rootkits require more comprehensive scanning, not less. A quick scan would be even less likely to detect deeply hidden threats. 49. A user is unable to rotate their smartphone screen when watching videos, despite having turned the device sideways. Which of the following is the most likely cause? A. The accelerometer hardware has failed. B. The screen rotation lock is enabled. C. The application doesn't support landscape mode. D. The operating system needs to be updated. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. The screen rotation lock is enabled. Explanation. Option B is correct because screen rotation lock is the most common and simple cause of rotation issues. This setting prevents the screen from rotating regardless of device orientation and is often enabled accidentally via Quick Settings or Control Center. Option A. The accelerometer hardware has failed is incorrect because hardware failure is much less common than a settings issue. If the accelerometer had failed, we would expect to see the problem in all apps, and there would likely be other symptoms related to motion detection. Option C. The application doesn't support landscape mode is incorrect because while some apps may not support landscape mode, the scenario specifically mentions watching videos, which almost universally support and often default to landscape orientation. Option D, the operating system needs to be updated, is incorrect because OS updates are rarely required specifically for screen rotation functionality, which is a core feature of mobile operating systems. This would be considered only after checking basic settings. (50) A tablet user reports that several applications fail to update, showing an update failed message in the App Store. The device's Wi-Fi connection appears to be working for web browsing. What is the most likely cause of this issue? A. The App Store server is down. B. Insufficient storage space on the device. C. Incompatible processor architecture. D. The user's account has billing issues. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Insufficient storage space on the device. Explanation. Option B is correct because insufficient storage space is a very common cause of update failures. Even though the device has enough connectivity to browse the web, which uses minimal storage, app updates require free space for both the download and installation process. Option A, the App Store server is down, is incorrect because if the App Store server was down, it would typically affect all users, not just this specific device. Also, the user would likely be unable to browse the App Store at all, rather than seeing specific update failures. Option C, incompatible processor architecture, is incorrect because processor architecture incompatibility would prevent apps from being installed initially or being listed as compatible for update. It wouldn't allow the update process to begin and then fail. Option D, the user's account has billing issues, is incorrect because billing issues would typically only affect paid apps or in-app purchases, not updates to already purchased or free applications. The error message would also likely reference payment rather than a generic update failure. You have reached the end of our question set. For the complete exam preparation experience, visit us at MyITCerts.com, where you find thousands more practice questions and comprehensive study guides. You can study completely free using our study materials and questions and ace your exams with confidence. Thank you for studying with us today. See you in the next video.